God of War Ragnarok is back from the dead with the brand new Valhalla DLC, and the roguelike has not disappointed. Expanding on the roguelike gameplay we got to fight through in the first game in Niflheim, Valhalla doesn't hold back on the difficulty, even with a fully upgraded skill tree and all the weapons a Greek god might need to fight their way to the top of the land of the Norse war dead. Ragnarok Valhalla can be challenging. So much so, in fact, that the DLC has a challenge so borderline impossible that not even the game's own development team have managed to complete it. Now, I should stipulate that's specifically on the DLC's hardest difficulty setting, Show Me Mastery. A step above even Give Me God of War's absolutely hard as nails difficulty spikes. Apparently, not even the people who designed it have managed to wrap their brains and controllers around what Kratos needs to do to beat this endgame challenge. So naturally, I thought the first thing I would try to do was exactly that. And honestly, fair play, Santa Monica. As you'll see here, this is a man who hasn't picked up Ragnarok in about 8 months, trying to get back to grips with Kratos' unique set of skills, while Valhalla does its level best to beat the living hells out of him. Show Me Mastery is absolutely not to be trifled with if you aren't at the absolute top of your game, which you'll need to be to even stand a chance of getting to the latter stages. A couple of hits from even the most basic enemy at this difficulty is enough to basically obliterate Kratos' health bar down to nothing, so you need to stay frosty, keep your shield finger ready, and be constantly dealing out damage, something I wasn't able to do consistently well after my Kratos skills had spent the last half a year slowly decaying. So I spent my first few goes around Valhalla dying a hell of a lot, and without Freya and Atreus to back you up, each run truly does depend on your skill and your skill alone. So Show Me Mastery is probably not where most of us should start our journey into Valhalla. That way lies frustration, death, and a not insignificant amount of swearing, but thankfully you can adjust the difficulty of your runs anytime you like between each one, so even if you do want to go in Blades of Chaos blazing, or you fancy taking things a little easy on your first few goes around, you can always switch it up when you think you're ready for a harder or want a slightly easier time of things. Obviously, the difficulties aren't just there for bragging rights, although if the devs themselves are unable to beat it, there's definitely some of those on the line. How hard you set your runs through Valhalla directly influences the rewards you receive. Will is the lowest difficulty with the basest upgrades and rewards on offer. Resolve gives you 10% increases on your gains, Courage a 20% boost, Prowess, which greatly increases difficulty, boosts your rewards by 30%, and finally Mastery gives you a 40% raise in your rewards. So there is some solid incentive to get good and push your rewards as high as you can get them. That said, this endgame challenge sounds like an absolute pain to slog through and is going to be one hell of an effort. The devs were pretty clear that they think they might have players beaten this time, although they admitted they're curious to see how quickly players manage to humble them, which probably means someone will be beating the game on Mastery difficulty in about 3 or 4 hours then. That said, for the majority of us, it might be worth getting through the story elements of Valhalla before you decide to push yourself towards the big Show Me Mastery endgame. Remember, Valhalla is basically an epilogue for Kratos in the Norse realm. Wrestling with the idea of becoming the new god of war, working with Freya and her peace council, Kratos has to decide whether he's truly ready to put his past to rest and take up the mantle that he had long since shed back in Greek mythology. God of War Valhalla is available now and free to play for anyone who owns Ragnarok, so what the hell are you waiting for? Dive in and let us know if you managed to beat it on Show Me Mastery. We'll be working our way through on Courage for now. And if you want to stick with us and watch more God of War stuff like this, check out these videos here.